Come here to play the vampire way. It only gets better every single day. I'll show you how I play the vampire way. I've been doing it for over a year. Use the knife, oh always the knife. I love the knife, I love my wife. Ooh, Drac is happy, happy as can be. The knife is like candy, he's giddy as can be. No ADS can snipe a plankton in the sea. He hip-fired his honeymoon via his decree. He doesn't aim to pee, it's simple as can be. He can't predict their flee, he laughs maniacally when they all disagree. He closes his eyes to see. No
Sniper.
ADS, no ADS, no
Scar.
ADS, no. No
Sniper.
ADS, no ADS, no
M16.
ADS, no. No
Sniper.
ADS, no ADS,
Scar.
no ADS, no. No
Sniper.
ADS, no ADS, no
M16.
ADS, no. Don't forget the regal Deagle, the Deagle that never faltered. It's grown its wings among other things. This gun's an extension of Drac. It's been sublime and clutched through the dark times, the depression is back for bud. But now the knife is back, and Drac is back, and the knife is Drac. And just remember that the knife is Drac, the knife is Drac, the knife is Drac, the knife is Drac. Get trauma resist max 50-80% stacked. Now that's the Drac, and just remember that trauma resist is Drac, trauma resist is Drac, trauma resist is Drac. Since day one when I was a little boy, I dreamed of a trauma-less toy. It was my deck, my favorite deck. It was my deck, my favorite deck, and it still works. Hey everybody, welcome to Drac's Guide to Being a Vampire King and a Prophet Stan of sorts who knows all the builds before they become popular. Check it out. Ooh, let me get my little kitty cat out of the way. So, let me tell you about my playstyles and my cleaners and just like what I like to play. Kind of somewhere along the line when I was playing a bunch. Like I've been playing since beta. I was getting pulled into. I just kept doing like quick play, and I started getting pulled into no hope, and I was getting kind of thrown through the ringer and kind of told what to do all the time. But people wanted to play with me because they saw that I was good. So then I realized that I should just do what I want to do, and then like work around that and try and make it work. And funnily enough, I was like rediscovering myself. My stuff all still worked from when I would play on Nightmare and below with my friends. I'd always play Nightmare quick play, but if my friends wanted to play like Veteran or whatever, I'd play with them. So I was having a blast in my build, and then just been going back to it again since like as early as like spring this year, just remembering that like, oh yeah, I do like all these things. Just go back to the basics. And yeah, I've been enjoying all my decks a lot. So I've basically been using like 4 main decks. I don't really care much about my other decks at this point because finally the knife is back. The Drac is back. I don't know if you've heard, but I'll show you like what I would normally do for my melee kind of build. It just have like a stun gun kind of situation. Although I'd probably remove scar tissue for something else. Perhaps like Brazener Slugger. Something like this, or more heal efficiency. Either way, I don't really like two-handed melee because then I can't have my Deagle. That's why I like knife with Deagle. But this is like an example build that I would use for, melee purposes. But I don't need the stealthy passage, obviously. Exterior Angel stun gun, but it's very nice for melee. And if you have this one, you might as well have that one, as we all know from my previous videos. So I've had these decks for like a long time, by the way. I just wanted to release my song, and it because like my song just popped in my head right when I was about to make the video, so that I was like, great, now I gotta make the song with the video. So here are the decks that I use the most right now. So like we're gonna have the archetypes. Right now I think we're gonna have Shaggy is one, where he's like the stealthy passage stun gun, and like this is like an example deck where I give my team like tons of fucking ammo because I have ammo stash. All I require is the stun gun ammo, and I have ammo belt to facilitate that, and stock pouch, and yeah, I just have tons of trauma resist, and then highwayman to help the team with like ammo and bait jars and stuff. I was thinking about switching this up for something else, and with all the new cards, this will get switched out for something else. So this is like a fun one where if it's like, we have a melee or whatever, and we don't need or want someone else with a knife, this is what I'll go, probably, unless someone else is going Stealthy Passive Experimental Sun Gun. Then, in that situation, we'll play this guy, where this is probably like my ideal, most fun deck, just to kind of mess around with. I don't have like true perfect accuracy, but I think it gets to like 85% instead of like 80 with just one. But this way I get more recoil control, and then I can get food scab to top myself up to 100. And I get one of my favorites, 100% accuracy. And I get one of my favorites, Knowledge is Power, in there. And I still am able to get myself all the way up to a very nice 50% trauma resist. And I love True Grit. It's honestly one of my favorite ones, and it doesn't work unless you have trauma resist too. So it's silly. I could get myself to 80%, but True Grit's silly and fun. And same with like getting rid of Knowledge is Power, or even Food Scab for the 80% trauma resist. But this is more team oriented, that's why it has the Food Scab in there. So it's a little bit of everything, and the Knowledge is Power also kind of helps the team. I could get rid of Dash as well. But it's kind of fun. I don't really get movement speed in a lot of my decks. Can't afford it. Running out of slots. So those are the ones where if like I'm just like persuaded to not go knife, or I don't want to like humiliate people by showing them how awesome it is. The doubters. So then we have the real decks. This one, which is my main knife deck. This is the one that I believe would be getting used by Holly in most cases. And then my two other cleaners that I like, which are Dan and Hang, which I'll get to in a second more about cleaners. They will play this deck, where they get a little overheal, or if for some reason I'm playing as Holly and I don't feel I need the padded suit, and I'm down to trade that so that I can have a little more lifesteal and the well rested and the food scav trade. But you lose something else for the food scav. It might have been one of the trauma resist, but that's okay. So yeah, you get the food, so the food kind of helps the trauma resist and all that. So it all kind of works together in its own way. But yeah, this is like another nice knife build. It's a little more casual and relaxed, but if you're Hang, especially, like you can kind of lean more on the Deagle side and kind of get like a shitload of reload speed with the food scavs. But you don't need to. And the reason why Dan would like this one more also is because with the well-rested Vanguard, you can kind of like have yourself a bit overheal, a little bit of a buffer, and like the food scavenger as well to get like green beans and stuff to top yourself up and give yourself health regen to fill out your trauma. Because the main thing about my decks that I love is that there's tons of red health that you have in the game, and then like there's so many ways to heal red health. You don't always have them on level 1, but there is like multiple ways to heal red health. So the knife can heal it a bit. It's really hard to unless you're Holly. Consistently, unless you're just not getting hit, especially in no hope. It's not really a way to heal per se, but there are healing mechanisms to help it happen and become a heal. But really mainly it's like these plus Holly's passive is just enough, at least in no hope. Everything else it seems to work, but these plus Holly healing, and I did this in no hope before already. So these like with like Holly And not on Holly, I tried it as Hang. And a bit as Dan as well. And Holly. But I never finished the Dan or Holly runs, but that's besides the point. The friends were tired. It wasn't a difficulty thing. But the EMT bag, you get a lot of heal out of all these items, and what this does for you is it basically just makes it so you can just fill out that red health that keeps being lost, but like you're not losing too much trauma at all. And that's kind of like the main point of my decks, whether they're knife or not. They've always been like this, but now that there's a knife, you know, you can kind of see one of the ways to heal. But if not, basically, and if the knife was bad at this point, it would just be like, you know, the trauma heal you'd get from killing things as Holly, just for the regular bullets, with Deagle and stuff, or by playing as Hanging, getting the free regen, or playing as Dan, going for food scav, and trying to get at least one green beans a level, and just hope that's enough. And just kind of like, I love this playstyle, just like being tanky and like, you know, reviving people, and it's all about like saving your team and like protecting them, you know, giving them utility in a spot where like there's no other time they're gonna get that utility. Kind of like if you think of it like you think of it um like when there's like a card that gives you a buff, but you don't like really see the results of that until the beginning of the next level. And it's like Dan is someone who can help you during the level, kind of like a dock heal, but people don't really see or like understand that through that perspective, I feel. So I love that. And the fact that you got the damage resist while like reviving people, it's like I'll fucking damage resist revive through people like all the time before it was even like a thing. But the fact that you get bonus like resistance and even like knockback, I think if only you're Dan. I can't quite remember if other people can have that. But I think it's only if you're Dan. Either way, just having the ability to just like revive people and like take way less damage is just like, that's such a cool ability. And for the whole team too. It's like, even if it's just for him, like I just like that idea of just like, because I just like doing that in the middle of combat, because it's like I can't let this guy go down now. Like I can't afford to defib him, or I don't have the slot, or I don't have it. He has the defib, or you know, whatever it may be. It's just like, I'm gonna take this risk and revive you, but like it doesn't fucking like end the game. I love that. So yeah, so I like Dan. And like Holly's pretty self-explanatory. You would vampire stamina. Now you vampire literal health. I didn't know this. I didn't make this up. This shit literally happened. And they decided one day she's gonna literally lifesteal. So you could tell how she became my most played, and then more my most played. But ever since Hang came out, he's become my favorite slowly and surely. Absolutely. I love him. I love how cool and unique he is and all the things he provides. But I'm okay and will accept that one day he will lose his like card ability, probably card sense, and just kind of like how he lost his magician's ability. But it's good. It was fun. It was unique, and it's good that it's going to go to someone who makes more sense. It makes sense the chef gets his ability. Cause I'm like, who's going to get all the food abilities? They just released food, so I'm glad they did it to Hang. It makes me very happy, and that makes me also happy knowing that they might preserve his passive and put in someone else. Like a magician might have his passive now, and then someone else might have a card passive. So like it's cool. We're gonna have somebody who's all fleshed out about cards and someone who's all fleshed out about reuse. I'm really excited about whenever those cleaners come out. So it adds a lot of space for the devs. So and now the new food Hang is like, I made my video about it. I showed you how much I love him. So I still love Hang, Dan, and Holly. So those are like my play style. And if you guys want to see just kind of like what I like to play when I'm like playing with my friends for fun, I have like an 80% accuracy plus food, and this one's like, oh, like if I have money, if I'm like willing to, but it's just lucky pennies plus 45% recoil, just to like test the waters of how strong the recoil is. But I think I took the recoil ones out. There's only like the 30%, I believe. I took out the other one. I felt was like unnecessary. So it's really actually a 30% recoil. I felt the 45% was a little bit unnecessary, especially if you got the anchor, because the anchor is something I always go for anyways, right? And when I had the embezzler, actually did have a 30% build. I think it was this one actually. So I was able to test it, luckily, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's not the end of the world to sacrifice for that shitty 15% you know, where is this guy? Where is this 15% piece of crap? Line him up. I like to find it, even though I could type it. I passed it. It was there. It was there. It was there. It was there. There. Like, these are all just nothing stats. And I never aim down sights, which already sucks. And bullpen sucks because you need it to go like 100% or 200% to like go through a person. Or maybe it'll go through a person and do like almost a full bullet's worth of damage, but it's not even. I think it needs to be like half or more. I remember reading an article. And the range is like okay, but it's only 10%. Most of my guns don't get too much out of that, I don't think. And yeah, it's just like so many other cards would be so much better, and it's just for the recoil. It's like, nah, dude. Make this card just recoil control, like 30%, and then this one actually would be worth picking up. Then it'd be like, ooh, like, do I drop shooting this, or do we get all three? And then I'm like, fucking, 60%, like, there's actually like things to think about then. But right now, this card sucks. But yeah, this one I like a lot because then you get the food and you get the flexibility. If you go hang, you're fine. If not, you might want to switch out Lucky Pennies and get food, which this originally had. So that, I think I just put this in because I was playing with friends, so I wanted more reload speed. But yeah, you can get more food and just make sure that you have that fucking accuracy. You just need 1 or 2 peanut butters depending. Well, if you're hang, you need like 2, but 1.5, 1, and then your teammate gets 1. But if you're not hang, you need to get 3. So food scav would be good. And then this one, both of them, I'd like both these decks. I'd play any of the 3 cleaners that I like. If I can't get the cleaner I like, I might just play Carly because I like information and I like information cleaners. And I wish she had like a way to activate longer range or become vulnerable and have like a big range or like look overhead or pull out a map or something. But yeah, that's not really what she's about anyways, so that's why I don't play her that much. She just has a lot of cool things going on for her, but I just like that one aspect. And yeah, I think that's it, everybody. This is just one's about movement speed if you want to be a fast little fuck. So thank you, everybody, for watching my video, and I hope you enjoy my strategies. I hope you enjoyed my song, and I hope you learned something. This is just for you guys to see what I do. There's no like a judgment-free zone, or nothing's objectively good or bad. Maybe one day we can look upon it and say that it's good or bad, but it doesn't really matter right now because we can't really say. We can only kind of guess. So I just wanted to share this so there's more information out to all y'all. And so you guys wonder what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing all the time. And just so it's out there, if anyone starts claiming that this is what they do all the time, I've been doing this shit for over a year. So, yeah. This is my stuff. This is my shiz. Trauma resist, accuracy 100% or 85 or 80. And I just like to have that trauma resist, baby, and that knife. If it's not knife, then I'm really going into the trauma resist for sure. But they're always going to have some trauma resist. And food's fun. But not necessary. But it's fun.